Hi, I'm Radek, co-founder and CEO of Kilde. Kilde is a Singaporean startup. We operate a two-sided platform where institutions and individuals can discover and buy alternative assets. Our mission is to open alternative investments to regular investors. For that, we have a capital market license in Singapore and a tech startup license in Abu Dhabi. We operate from both of these offices. And our shareholders are Purple Ventures and Dubai Fintech Ventures. And through Dubai Fintech Ventures, we are fortunate to have a prominent Middle Eastern investors like Visa, Dubai International Financial Center, and Mashreq. So what we do, we discover new alternative investments through data science. By doing that, we bridge the information gap between the sellers and the buyers and eliminate the middlemen who charge commission in between. So what's the problem? So the alternative assets is a very interesting proposition, specifically nowadays. It's a driver of growth of the portfolio, it's the protection against inflation, it's a risk hedge against the crash of public markets. But there's a lot of problems. It's still very much an insider's game where opaque asset valuation reign, elitist group of experts forge their opinion, and investors cannot enter this asset class because of the high minimal entry investments. So we bridge this information and access gap through our platform. We offer a range of asset classes with the emphasis on data-intensive and income-driven generating assets, like, for instance, consumer portfolios or SME assets. And we do it through operating a two-sided platform, which you can imagine sort of like a Amazon in the investments. On the one hand, you have deal providers who are the sellers in the platform. And on the other hand, you have investors who are the buyers. And the inventory of the platform are the tokenized, securitized financial instruments, which are exchanged between the parties. It is a platform. That's why it has a platform network effect, where the more investors we have, the more deals we're going to have, the more deals we're going to have, the more investors we have. So, excuse me. So the way how we do it is by capturing the whole value chain from the deal origination to servicing. So first we discover the alternative assets through data science. We securitize, tokenize it, and make it investable, distribute it to investors, and then we monitor and service the asset until it's repaid or liquidated. The value proposition for investors is very clear. They will get a high risk-adjusted return, but also the deal provider, they eventually get the liquidity for otherwise illiquid assets, which by itself hikes the price by hikes the value and the price of the asset by 10 to 20%. Now is a great time to do business like this because the POs are on record loads. COVID has shifted the customer behavior online, and securitization and tokenization are regulated. And generally, the alternative assets are booming, especially among institutional investors. Our traction so far was very good. We have issued 6 million of alternative assets in securities since our launch in February earlier this year. Currently, we have $3.5 million of deals available, and we have 44 million of so-called deal flow waiting to be securitized and sold by the investors. We have entered into partnership with the major consumer finance players here in Southeast Asia, like Atomy, Home Credit, or Robocash, which provide the consumer assets to our investors. So private debt investments into consumer lending assets is the first stepping stone into scaling the whole platform. Eventually, we would like to become a multi-asset platform for alternatives, like a supermarket for alternatives in the Southeast Asia. There are very nice examples outside the region of successful companies doing this. Most notably, on the top of the slide is the Yield Street, which is a near unicorn based on the Series C they did earlier in June 2021. Or closer to us in India is the Credit Avenue, which raised very recently the largest Series A in the region, 90 million, with valuation 420 million. So creating a platform like this definitely has a lot of value. So our roadmap so far was that we have a minimum valuable product, we have a regulatory license, and we have a first paying customers on both sides. The traction has been very good. And we have recently opened the office in the ADGM. Everybody in our team has more than 10 years of experience in consumer lending, SME lending, or transaction management. We work in companies like PwC, Accenture, IBM, and Microsoft. And that's all for me today. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you to Enterprise Singapore for organizing